Right, this afternoon we are having two major speakers, and our first speaker is Dr. Stella. Dr. Stella Ojewale. She's a year two PhD student at University of Cincinnati in the Department of Pathobiology and Molecular Medicine. Correct me if I'm wrong. And recently, you know, she is my senior colleague. We're at Obafemi Awolowo University together, and she has been an excellent person, and very diligent, and she is excellence personified. I don't need to talk much about her. Just go to LinkedIn, you see some of the great things she has achieved, and recently she was awarded the overall best student in a year one PhD program. So for you to know that this person is someone that has the stuff, she has all the information you need for those of you interested in PhD. Then our second speaker, I will introduce her when she's about to come up. So we'll have our first speaker first. She's going to talk to us for 30 minutes. If you have any question, please note your questions. We have a whole hour to take questions. And if you don't want to talk, you can drop it in the chat box. We're going to attend to every question. All right, so join me as I welcome Dr. Stella Oje Wale. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Tomowa, for the warm welcome. Thank you so much. So, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's such a privilege to be speaking here this afternoon, and I do not take it for granted. Thank you to the organizers of this program. So, I have 30 minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I will try as much as possible because, as he has rightly said, it's a lot. Applying to grad school is a lot of work. So I just tried to. I made a small slide just to keep everything in brief, so that we don't spend all the hours talking about this. So I'm going to be sharing my screen now. Can you see my screen?
No.
No.
Okay, yeah, it's coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Okay, so you can see my mouse as well. Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Coming. I'm trying to see how to move to the next slide.
Can you put it on presentation mode?
Okay. Where is that? Sorry, this is the first time I'll be using.
Just go down towards the left, right bottom of the slide. Right. Yeah. Yes, yeah, there, yeah. Is it working? No. Oh, it's coming up. It's coming on. Or you could just go to transitions on your, yeah. No, go to slideshow rather. Slideshow, yeah. So, yeah. It's not showing. Oh, sorry. What could be the issue? Yeah.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see the
Okay.
slides.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just a small slide I prepared just to like grab a general view of all the things I'll be talking about. So, and okay, so a little bit about myself. As Dr. Adetri already said, my name is Stella Ojewale, and I'm a second-year PhD student at the University of Cincinnati, Ohio, in the United States here. I had my undergraduate degree in dentistry and dental surgery at Obafemi Awolowo University, and immediately after my house job, I moved to the United States for my PhD program, and this is my second year. So, just this is a brief outline of the things I'm going to be talking about: the practical steps, submitting applications, available resources, immigration, other information, and my own personal experience. Then we'll log into the question and answer section briefly. So, talking about the comment. Sorry, can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So, okay.
But can you
So,
put it on presentation mode?
yes.
We can't see some of the details. Yeah. Good.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is just like a schematic of everything. I'm just like everything from personal determination, your conclusion on applying to grad school, and to immigration process, which I'm going to be talking about one after the other. In case I maybe leave out any other things and I remember maybe from questions, I'll be able to also include some of the other things that I might probably forgot in the course of this presentation. So the first thing is actually determining what you want to do, because it's not everybody. Grad school is not meant for everybody. Maybe that is what I would say first. So it's you knowing some specific things about yourself. What do you want to do? What do you want? What are your long-term, short and long-term career goals? And is grad school going to be one of the means through which you're going to achieve that? Can you possibly get that through grad school? And these are the questions you should ask yourself before actually thinking of starting your application or getting into the pool of application. So after determining in your mind that, oh, I need to get this done, it's actually going to help my career life, it's going to help my profile, then you can begin the real work. And it's actually a lot of work. I won't deceive you, but the first thing I would like to also add is that if you can put in the work and put in all you can into this thing, it will definitely work out. So people are doing it and you also can get it done. Yeah. So the second one, which is my B, is first of all, you need to identify your area of strength and research focus. So this time around is when you want to know, okay, if I'm in the medical line, which aspect of medicine do I want to specialize on? Am I interested in oncology? Am I interested in infectious diseases? Am I interested in every other aspect of pathology? Okay, are this my area of strength? Can I dwell in this area? Do I actually have passion in this field? Do I like what is being done in this field? I think those are the things you ask yourself. And after identifying your area of focus, your area of strength, oh, I'm interested in infectious diseases, then start gathering your documents. At this point, start gathering your documents. Your basic document like your international passports, your academic CV, and your statement of purpose. I'm still going to talk about the documents, all the documents that we'll need for this application in my subsequent slides. So after identifying your research area and your research focus, your strengths and your research focus, and I would like to say that maybe in Nigeria we used to think that, oh, it actually necessarily has to be in my line of undergraduate degree, but coming into the US, I realized it's totally not compulsory, because some of my courses, some of them are not even in line of medical, and you see what they are doing. So someone from thesis can decide to say, okay, I want to start I want to have my PhD in something related to biomedical sciences. So far, you can convince the admission committee that you will thrive there, and you have some basic background, you're good to go. So identify your area of focus, relate that to your undergrad, and see if it is not entirely related to your undergrad. Try to see, okay, what are the things I need to get in addition to that? Do I need to maybe do an online course in order to buffer up for these things, or do I need to get a certification in order to have that on my CV, so that will prove to them that, oh, I actually can do well in this field. Yeah. So the third one is you start searching for schools offering the course and research you want to apply for. For me personally, I approach this in two ways: institution-based and faculty-based. Institution-based in the sense that I just go on school websites, because in the United States you have about 4,000 schools, universities. So you will probably not be able to search all this, I can assure you. But this was what I did during the time I was submitting applications. I checked every school website, almost every school website, to actually see the courses they offer and to see if if they actually offer the course or the research I'm interested in. So that is what I meant by the institution based. The faculty based is actually checking the profile of professors, because here they refer to professors as faculty. So here you want to maybe read paper. Maybe you want to go through some articles or papers on, for example, you're interested in oncology, for example, you've read a lot, you've had maybe some of the papers, and you've seen some professors, you've noted the names of professors that are actually prominent in this field. You can actually go through that, search for the name of the professor, search for the school where they are currently, and then just go into the website of that school. And that was another method that I used in searching during my own. And what I also did then was, I'm already sharing my personal story, so I won't have a lot to discuss when I'm talking about it. But this is basically what I did during my own time, and this is specific to each program and to each person's. Let me quickly add that as well. So, talking about the faculty-based, check the profile of each of these professors and see if they suggest you asking what they already have on their website. If they already wrote out some things expressly on their website, there might not be a need to ask them again. But in a situation where some of the things were not especially written on their website, you can just also ask this important question from the program director or the program coordinator. And for me personally, this is where I ask more details about the funding. Some of these schools just give a general information about funding on their website, but when you ask further details, when you ask further questions, they might be able to give you further details and information about the funding, and also if there is application fee waiver. So after that, depending on what you get from this, the response you get from the program coordinator or the program director, or from your research on what the requirement of the school is, you can decide to start your application. So for this, the reason why I said it should depend on maybe the response you got from the program director or the coordinator, is because at times maybe those responses can be a green light for if I actually have a chance in this program. For example, if you have a background that is not totally related to the course you are trying to apply to, you asking them first will actually give you a kind of idea on what their core values are. For example, if they are so strict on, oh, this person must have this particular background, then that means I can't go ahead to submit my application. But some will tell you that, oh no, we are open to wide range of background if you have this. So you can just be specific in your email when you are sending the email to them. Oh, I am so. I have this background in so. Am I eligible to apply for this program? And they will respond to you depending on what their response is. You can then start your application. So what I will say is that you should set an internal deadline for yourself. It doesn't mean that, okay, if the application is if the deadline is 28th of December, and then you're planning to submit the application on the 20th of December, exactly, it might not be wise to do that. So I would suggest set an internal deadline for yourself, maybe like 2 weeks before, or a week before, or a month before, depending on how fast you're able to gather your document and how far you're able to work on your documents. So set the deadline for yourself based on the deadline stated on the school website, and ensure to follow all instructions. So after this, the next thing is apparently to hit the submit button. But most what from my experience as well, most of these schools will keep sending you reminder to let you know that, oh, you've started this application, they need this information from you, they need this information from you. So definitely you will remember that you still have an application going on with some on the portals of on some schools portal. So then after that, wait for decision. So here I included this, that you should keep submitting applications to other school. I will not advise you putting all your eggs in one basket, because don't say, oh, I'm sure they will pick me, I'm sure I'll be admitted in this school, then I don't need to submit applications to other school again. People do as many as 10 applications, people do as many as 20 applications. I did close to 10 during my home time as well. So just keep submitting applications to other school. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Then after that, you start the immigration process. I think this is basically it for this particular slide. If any other thing comes to mind, I will include that. So for the important documents, I actually have a small information here for undergrad. If you are currently an undergrad, I will advise that you focus on getting good grades, because this will actually save you a whole lot of stress. I was opportune to be among one of the recruitment committee in my school for grad students, and I was talking to one of to the program coordinator one day, and I asked her. She didn't even know when she told me all this. I don't know, maybe I don't even know, maybe I put something in my mouth to ask her. I was like, what are the core things you look for in people's application? She said, when we actually consider grades and we consider your letter of recommendation and your statement of purpose. Those were the three things she mentioned to me, that three things are very, very important. So focus on getting good grades. School education is not scam. I would like to emphasize on this again. Maybe where our environment might make it look like that or something, but outside there, people are doing a lot of great things that when you see, you'll be amazed. It's actually not a scam. So focus on getting good grades. Do all your best to get good grades. It will actually, like, it's going to be a star on your transcript. Anywhere your transcript get to, they know that, oh, this person did a great job during his or her undergrad. So then maintain good relationship with your lecturers. And the reason why I said it is because you are going to need them for letter of recommendation. You are going to need them for recommendations. You are not going to need their referrals or recommendations. So avoid burning bridges. Don't say, oh, I don't know, it's just after my undergrad, I don't want to see this person again. I don't care, whatever it is. At least have, like, I would suggest like 5 to 7 lecturers that you know that, oh, at least they can say something good about me. They can write a good letter of recommendation for me. And don't assume every lecturer will write something good about you. Be sure that these people have your best interest at heart and they can write something good about you, and be intentional. And intentionality here means that you want to start working your CV. Start from your undergrad. Basically, you want to start working on your CV. Start engaging yourself in activities that will give you more stuff to write on your CV, like participate, volunteer. If you can publish, get into a publication group, publish as many as you can. If you can take up a leadership position, take up this position. Those are the things that will make your CV stand out. So be intentional, know what you want and go for it. That is what I would say. So going by the important documents now, the first one is international passport, and I'm including here that it is country based, because for UK, I think it's some of these schools do not require Ielts or Toefl. So, but I would still suggest, if you have the fund and if you have the time to do it, kindly do it. It will actually increase your chances of, in terms of the numbers of schools that you can apply to. For me, it narrowed down the numbers of schools that I was able to apply to them, because it is not all schools that accept application without these results. Also for GRE, this is actually becoming more common as well for GRE test results. So if you also have the fund and if you have the means to do that, kindly do as well. These two proficiency and these two results will actually enhance your chances, in the sense that to broaden your pool in terms of the numbers of schools that you can apply to. So I already talked about recommendation letters as well. Your lecturers are very important. Maybe if volunteer experience that you had, maybe you have a boss there that can actually also say something good about you, write good letters for you. Also, this is very important. And I would also like to include that, well, I figured some don't know. Some lecturers might not be able to write, don't really know how to approach recommendation letters. There is a format to it, so you can actually say it politely that, oh, you also have a format that can you do they mind you sending a format to them that they can follow and then maybe edit to their uh to their taste. So that will also help them. Some lecturers will even tell you that, oh, you can actually write what you want me to write. I will check it, and then if that is okay by me, I will send, because these lecturers are actually also very busy, so you have to consider that as well. So in a way to make their work easy, you can actually help them to draft or to send to draft a recommendation letter and just send to them to adjust based on their based on what they think about you and like. So that is what I'm. So in addition to for this recommendation letter, this is one of the, I don't want to say one of the most difficult, but it's usually very challenging for people to get recommendation letters, especially because there are so many factors. Now you are dealing with human and you have to play to their, I don't know, maybe psychology. There are things you need to do. It is let's make sure you are at their forefront in that. Let me put it that way. It's not like, okay, you only talk to them or you only approach them when you need recommendation letter from them, and that is what I mean by maintaining a good relationship with them. So maybe it can go as far as you sending message to them every month. If you have the means, sending card to them, because they're also going to use data to send recommendation letter. You have to use their own data to send this recommendation letter. So you need to be very intentional in this aspect, in the sense that you maintain a good relationship. You are not only approaching them when you need their help for recommendation letter, like you are there in the sense that you maintain that line of communication between you and these lecturers. It will actually help in getting what you need to get and at least help you faster in getting your documents. The next one is unofficial official transcripts. Oh, please, wow. Unofficial or the official transcripts. This is also school dependent. Some school will allow you to submit unofficial transcripts. Some will say no, they want you to submit the official transcripts. So during my own time, this also narrowed down the number of schools I was able to apply to, because I was looking for a school that do not require official transcripts. As we all know, official transcript will take you using money to send official transcript to a number of schools. Just imagine I'm applying to 10 schools and all these schools are requires official transcript. That means I have to inform OAU and I will have to pay OAU at every time I'm sending this official transcript to them. So it is that expensive. So for me, I was looking for a cheaper option. That was why I was looking for schools that do not require official transcripts. So some schools require official transcript, and you know that if you have a particular school that require an official transcript, and you know that you actually have an higher chance of getting in, I would just advise that you pay the price, send the official transcript to them, because actually at the end of the day, all of these schools that do not require official transcript will still ask you to submit official transcript after you are admitted. So just keep that at the back of your mind. So some schools will say they also require an evaluated transcript. Some will say they do not require. But during my own time, I actually did WES because I know it's going to increase my chances. And there's a way WES also boost your grade, boost your CGPA. So WES does not include any course you fail. They don't include any course you carry over for people in other departments. So in that case, you have higher chances of getting an higher CGPA compared to what your normal unevaluated transcript will give you. And there are different bodies, the NACES bodies, the WES, Patron, depending on what the school says they want. So the other one is academic CV. This is different from work CV. Everybody should know this, because I know that most people think work CV and academic CV are the same. No, they are not the same. There's a format to academic, there's a format to work CV. There are some things you include in your academic CV, and there are some things you do not include in work, which are not necessary in work CV, but are very important in academic CV. So then the statement of purpose or personal statement. Some people believe that these are two different things, and some people believe that they are just two words being used interchangeably. I believe they are just two words being used interchangeably. So make sure you actually draft this very well, and you have people around that are willing to help you to review this statement of purpose or your personal statements as well. So going by the application, just start as soon as possible. One thing I would say is don't wait till you have all your documents. Don't say, oh, I don't have my GRE yet, so I can't start. you have to do all these things. As much as I actually made them in steps, they are interwoven. You can actually still combine everything together at the same time. Most of the application cycle for in US especially starts from like August to the next January or February. So you have like 6 or 8 months for this application, if I'm not mistaken, and so you have enough time. So just make sure that you start the application, and okay, I'm just filling in I'm just submitting those documents that I need as they come. It will be very easy that way, and you won't miss out on any of this opportunity. So going by the resources, I would say the first one is Google, and I won't forget what one of my lecturers told me immediately after our induction. It was like, Stella, your next step is actually on that phone, your phone that you are carrying. That is where your next step is. I was like, what do you mean by that? I said, go on Google and search any opportunity. There are opportunities out there. So I will tell you that Google is actually, and that's why I put GOAT here, my greatest of all time, because it is actually the one for me personally. Because like, go on Google, search for schools, and that is basically searching for schools, searching for professors. All these things are online. Like, you don't need maybe an agent or anybody to do all these things for you. So far, you have your internet connection, you have your phone, you have your mobile devices, or your laptop. It is very, very easy to do. Just if it is 10 schools in the United States per day that you want to do 10 schools per day. Search those schools, search for the courses they have, copy the numbers, note their requirements, and just start from there. It's just as simple as that. LinkedIn as well. There are opportunities on LinkedIn that people share. Look out for opportunities on WhatsApp, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, because there are also groups on WhatsApp and Telegram where people share information, valuable information, also recommendations or referrals. That's why I say maintain relationship with your lecturers. They will tell you. I had a lecturer then that she was always sending scholarship opportunities to me even after I graduated from school. So it is that easy because they know what your aspirations are, they know what you want, and they can actually refer you as well. So the next one is immigration. I think I'm already running out of time. I don't know how many minutes do I have more, please.
You have 2 minutes more, but you can. We will give you extra 6 minutes.
Okay, yeah, okay, I will try. So, congratulations on your admission offer, but all those things I said are the process you need to get this congratulatory message. So after getting this congratulatory message, the next thing is actually starting your immigration process. And for me personally, from my experience, this was like the most challenging aspect. It was very, I don't know, let me put it easy in quotes to get the admission than the immigration. I don't know for US and their policies, so it can be very, very funny. So the first thing is getting admitted to a self-approved school, which we already talked about earlier. And the reason this SEVP approved school, and these are schools that are certified by the Student and Exchange Visitors Program. It is not all school that can actually give you I-20. So you have to be very sure that the school is SEVP approved as well. And they will also include that on their website. So this school will send you a form called I-20. So for if you are fully funded, the I-20 will highlight everything in terms of finances that your money, that the funding covers in terms of academic tuition fee, your stipends, insurance, everything. So you know everything that you need to know in terms of finances on that form. And they also include some important details as well. If you go online, you will see, you can just type a sample of I-20, you will see as many as possible. So you will need this for your visa application. After getting the I-20, you pay for the service fee. This must be done prior to your visa interview because you will need the receipt for your interview. So after that, you pay the visa application fee. This is non-refundable, and I currently don't know the price, but I know the price might actually be the same, might just be the exchange rate that might be causing a lot of variation in that sense. So then the next one is to complete the DS-160 form. This is a form, like I heard this is what they used to do background check on everybody that is coming to the US. So you have to include every details about yourself. They ask us, it's like, I can't even count the number of pages for this DS-160 form. It's a very long form, and you keep providing every details, and make sure that you fill the correct details for this, because this is actually one of the things they go through before you appear before them for the interview. So you can do a visa interview, and This is where you go to the US embassy or consulate in your country, and basically in Abuja or Lagos for Nigeria. So, but for me personally, getting a favorable date was very challenging, because right now, if you go to their website and say you want to select dates, the next date you are seeing is 2028, 2029, or 2027. It can be that challenging. But with time, I think there's a way they also do it that makes people get favorable date as well. But getting dates can be challenging. So then the next one is to prepare your documents for the interview. I will just run through a list of the documents in my next slide. Then attend the visa interview. This visa interview for me, I can even say the visa interview was, maybe my preparation for it was more rigorous than the school, the admission interview. I forgot to mention that there's also an interview process where you'll be called for an interview. In my case, I did 2 interviews. So you'll be, for this visa interview, you need to like master what you want to say. This is not like an academic thing. They are asking you, it's a lot, let me put it that way, but it is very, very doable and people are getting it. So the next thing is to receive your visa, and then you prepare to travel to the US. So these are the documents that I listed for visa interview. Maybe I can make this slide available in case anybody needs, because you definitely need this to know all these documents for your visa interview when you are preparing to go. So then, these are just some of the few things I noted as a tips for successful visa application. The first one is, if possible, ensure you're fully funded. The interview is very, very easy when you have little to no deficit on your account. So for my own, I had excess of what they needed, because like I don't know how the school did it, so I didn't have any deficit as such. Yeah, but because I have my husband was going with me, so that increases the number of the amount of money. But even as at that, I had very little to no deficit. So if possible, be fully funded. Ensure that you ask for funding details in any school you're asked for. Know about their funding. Studying outside the country is very expensive. It's really, really very expensive. So the only means by which we can survive is either fully funded, or you also have support for family and friends. Let me put it that way. So, but for US visa interview, when you're fully funded, yeah, maybe let me say the job is like, all things being equal, the job is like 70 or 80% done on your own part to some extent. You just need to put in extra small little effort, and your visa will be granted, because they know that you're not coming here to become a liability for them. So they know that you are financially capable to sustain yourself or maybe your dependents in the United States. So the second one is show strong ties to your home country. This is a non-immigrant visa, so you want to let them know that you have something to come back home to do. So there are things you need to tell them that they want to hear. So, but when you get to this stage, I'm sure try to get funding before going to the US embassy, because having no funding at all and not having enough points to prove to them that you can actually sustain yourself will lead to multiple rejections, and that can actually discourage you from applying to grad school or maybe starting any application any further. So I don't know if that makes sense here. So these are the other informations I would like to know. Like, you should apply to as many schools as possible, request for application fee waivers, and plan to attend the virtual programs organized by the schools that you want to apply to. They usually give waiver code to participants who attended the program. So look out for such opportunities. And also, if it is not stated on the program website, reach out to program coordinator to confirm if you are required to secure a supervisor before applying, because some schools will say they need you to have a supervisor on ground before applying. So for schools that do not require you securing a supervisor before applying, ensure that your application package is very competitive. So I already said that, attend virtual programs, and then ensure that you meet almost all the admission requirements stated on the school website before going. And most importantly, pray. This thing requires you to pray. There is also the aspect of grace in all these things. So it doesn't come by just doing all these things, all those things that I've mentioned. There's the supernatural aspect of it, which I do not take for granted. Then the other one is working hard and network with people applying to grad school like this as well. Have people around, their information flying around that these people will be able to supply as well. So my personal experience, I think I've spoken about almost all my personal experience during the course of the presentation, but majorly I graduated in 2021. 2022, I was doing my house job. It was after my graduation in 2021 that I said one of my lecturers told me about that. And so my 2022 year was more of searching for school. During my house job, what I was doing basically was, of course, I was serving, I was working, but at my leisure time at home, I'm always searching for, I'm always on my phone, searching for schools on WhatsApp, getting on, I'm always online, searching for schools, searching for professors that are interested. I already have a particular aspect of research that I had in mind. I already have a particular focus in mind. So I was searching for schools in that aspect, and I started my applications. I saw a number of people that are also applying to grad school as well. We formed a group together. Informations were being shared on that group, which I actually enjoyed for myself, and it also helped me along the way. I met important people along the way as well that helped me. People that they were already here in the US. I reached out to them and they helped me a lot in reviewing my SOPs, in reviewing my CVs and the like. So I submitted the application to a number of schools, and I think at the end, like around January, February 2023, I was invited for interview, and like 2 weeks after, a week after, I was granted admission. So then went for the visa interview, and because I had a fully funded offer, it was super easy, and God's grace was super easy for me to get the visa, and that was how I landed in the United States. So, question and answer. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Stella. That was packed. Like, wow, wow, wow. Thank you. One thing you forgot to mention was that during our job, you were also busy taking courses on
Yeah, thank
Udemy
you.
and listening because I was always peeping on her phone. I remember then I was in final year, she was doing house job. So we're in the same posting, I think
Okay, yes,
prosthodontics.
yes, yes,
I
yes.
would go and check what's she always doing on phone. I would see her, she's taking courses on cancer biology.
Yeah. So yeah, that was also one thing. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, I was doing online courses just to elevate, boost my CV. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she likes book. She's one of my mentors, so I can tell you what she does. She's very good. And I'm glad. So please let's note our questions. I want us to have the second speaker now. I will just make some comments on what she said. And so apply from different background. Don't limit yourself. When you travel, you will get to see that people in your faculty, some of them don't really have that medical background. There are people in my faculty that are from engineering, some
Yeah.
they are even from psychology, sociology, because
Yeah.
here it's all about EDI, equity,
Exactly.
diversity, and inclusion. So
Inclusion.
faculty here is not like what we have in Nigeria that for you to be a faculty of dentistry you must be a dentist, you must have no, it's not like that here. You see people from medicine, you see people from biomedical engineering and all. So don't limit yourself. Get, just like she said, make sure you know what you really want. I applied to a school in the US, University of Minnesota. I have a friend of mine was there, like a senior colleague, a mentor too, and he told me that, guy, see, this is the person that has funding in our faculty. I said, but the person was working on one cell line cancer or whatever, and I wasn't really interested. So, because I knew that you are going to PhD 5 years, you have to dedicate it to what you really want. So, I applied because I found someone else in the faculty that I love the work, and I applied there. I was invited for an interview. I didn't get the admission, you know, and I will share some of the reasons why I think I did not get the admission. I think the first reason was that the school didn't require you to have a supervisor or write about your supervisor or anything. They didn't require you to contact anybody, so just submit your applications, the SOP and all. But along the way, I found something I was interested in, and I found a faculty member. I think one of the mistakes I made was that I didn't reach out to the faculty member. I should have, at least, to tell him that I'm interested in his work. So that, because a lot of people are applying, there are a lot of excellent people are applying. So there's, whether you like it or not, they are human beings. Someone will just see your application and just like, oh, this guy reached out to me so months ago. Even if they did not reply your message, some of them, they are noting your emails. They may not reply immediately, but they know you, kind of. You have a memory. you understand, in their mind. So it's always very important for you to message them. And one of the questions I would ask, that was the hope for people with HND, can they apply for PhD straight in the US? I think Dr. Stella will help us answer that later, but I know in the US it's very possible. So then she mentioned that there's a lot of resources online. I'm going to share the group of some Telegram and WhatsApp group that you can join to apply. Then there are a lot of people on X. You can follow her on X as Stella Uyewole. She also shares information on scholarships and all. Then there's D1. There's this guy D1, Deewan. He shares a lot on scholarships and all. So there are a lot of resources. It's tasking. It's but you just have to um, apply yourself and just take um, advantage of all the opportunities. So I want to introduce the next speaker, Dr. Chiamaka Onwosu. I can see her surname has changed. Oko, all these are our sisters. They've taken them away. But no, this immunity and chronic disease master's degree. That's what she's currently doing, and she's a Mastercard scholar. So she has fully funded scholarship, so it includes, I'm very sure it covered her airfare to and fro. That's sweet, because airfare these days, you use your 1 year salary to buy tickets. It's crazy. It's that crazy. Just one way. So, the tuition is covered. She's getting stipend. She has laptop, if I'm correct. She has everything. So she has everything, and she has the knowledge to share with us today. Dr. Chiamaka, you're welcome. We are ready to learn from you. You have the floor now. Thank you very much, Dr. Chiamaka.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adedure, for organizing this very great webinar. And thank you very much, Dr. Stella. I was taking notes. So I'm also learning.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Okay, first and foremost, I'm not a Mastercard scholar. I'm a Commonwealth scholar.
Oh.
They are both fully funded, but they're different.
Sorry. Commonwealth.
Different sponsors. Yes. So that brings me to where I'm going to start from. The different types of scholarships and the different kind of sponsorships for these scholarships. So you can either have a fully funded scholarship or a partial funded scholarship. Now, for fully funded scholarships, or either of them, there are three main groups of sponsorship or sources. The first is government-funded scholarships or government scholarships. Like there's the Chinese government scholarships, there's the Korean government, there's also the UK government scholarship. And I know a lot of people don't know, but Chevening and Commonwealth scholarships are UK government scholarships. There's also the something about Swedish government scholarship. I know there's Slovakia government scholarship, Finnish government scholarships, loads and loads of government scholarships. Then second, we have organizational scholarships, like scholarships sponsored by organizations, for instance, MasterCard. So MasterCard as an organization can decide to fund scholars to go study abroad, and they usually have partner institutions, and they are usually fully funded. Then the third group are the institution funded. So the institution funded is like, my school wants to offer a scholarship, or a lecturer or a professor in my school has funding. Maybe he received a grant for his research and he's looking for graduate students to work in his lab. That's like the institution funded kind of scholarships. My scholarship, as I mentioned earlier, is government funded. And many fully funded scholarships, not all, but many sorry, I'm looking down, I have a paper. So for many government and organization scholarships, it extends just beyond a scholarship, in the sense that they paid your fees. They also give you monthly stipend for your upkeep. Some even provide accommodation. Or some also pay your airfares. Like my airfare was paid, and my airfare going back to is paid already in advance. Some also pay for your like my visa application. I didn't have to pay anything. It was just literally pack your bags and come. But that's like for most government scholarships and other scholarships like Erasmus Mundi, Mastercard. They are fully funded. Whereas most institutional scholarships, they cover your tuition, and then sometimes they can also pay you stipends depending if you have teaching assistantships or graduate assistantships. They can pay you stipends, and they can also cover your insurance. Okay. So having this understanding, we can now dive into the whole scholarship talk. So Stella has done a great job. So I would just maybe emphasize a few areas. In I've mentioned that there are loads and loads of scholarship opportunities. So you need to go hunt for them, go find them. And you can only do this, as you said, with your phone. So you need to keep check. What I did in my time, I started searching for on Google, like Google the goods. I started searching for scholarships in so and so, scholarships in that and that. So over time, Google started sending me notifications because I was always searching for scholarships. Google started sending me notifications for scholarships. So each time there's a scholarship, until now it still does. I get notifications for loads and loads of scholarships. And if I'm on a scholarship site, I allow notification for future scholarship, maybe notifications or things like that. So I had this, and that was how I knew about Commonwealth, because initially I was applying for MasterCard. And this brings me to my next point. You should know why exactly you're applying. Some of us were applying for immigration purposes, some of us for career purposes, some of us for research purposes. Whatever it is you intend to do, you should know why exactly you are applying and which kind of scholarship fits into your situation. So if you're doing this for immigration purpose, you should know the immigration requirements or the immigration status in quote of those scholarships you're applying for. There are scholarships that you have to go back to your home country. Most government scholarships are like that. You have to go back to your home country when you're done with your program. But most organizational scholarships and institutional scholarships don't have that kind of caveat to it. So you need to know exactly why you are applying, or are you using it to a means to another means? Like, okay, if you get this first one now, you can use it as a means to get another one, things like that. There are a lot of people who use one scholarship as a stepping stone onto another. So you need to know why exactly you are applying. Then thirdly, also need to consider your family circumstances. Me, I restricted my applications to UK, to Canada because of immigration laws. I wanted somewhere I could move with my family. So these are also things you should consider. Do your homework, do your research. Then next is, you may think you have interest in a certain area, but to be honest, interest is bias. I'm not saying that you should go for something you're not interested in. What I mean is that as you just graduated from school, we've not really seen the world. We have a very narrow view of what is out there. So you can utilize AI to your advantage. You could just go on ChatGPT or Gemini. I'm like, okay, I have a background in dentistry and I'm kind of interested in maybe pathology and this is what PhD or master's programs can I go for? And then ChatGPT will bring you a list of possible programs you can go for. Courses you never knew existed. I didn't know my course existed until I started applying for scholarships. So you never know what program will capture your interest until you go out there and start to look for. Don't limit yourself. Before, most people thought they could only do public health programs because we're always hearing everybody say public health if you have a medical background. But no, there are tons and tons. In fact, we have even more programs you can do as a medical person than the average person out there. So you have to check. You have to check on AI. You just need to do your research on the kind of programs that are out there. Also, first and foremost, this by now, I'm sure most of you should have done that. But if you have not done that, you should have an unofficial copy of your transcript. you should have collected your transcript, because there's no application you're going to do that will not require your transcript. Your transcript is the evidence of everything you're going to open your mouth to say. If you tell them that, okay, I finished from so and so school and I had good grades and blah, 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 it's your transcript they want to see. So by now, you should have collected your transcript from your school. And when I say unofficial copy of your transcript, doesn't mean you should go and you should collect student copy. No, it's still official copy you're collecting, but you're the one receiving it. So to the school, it is unofficial. So when you send it to the school by yourself, it's an unofficial means. But when your school sends it to the institution you're applying to, it's now an official transcript in quotes. Okay, and then in addition to your transcript, you can also apply to collect your proof of English. So for those of us that finished from University of Nigeria, we're applying for your transcript on the e-transcript portal. There's also a place for you to collect proof of English, and this will come in handy for schools that require Ielts or don't waive it for Nigeria or things like that. You can tell them that you have proof that your undergraduate education was in English, and more often than not, they will waive IELTS for you. Okay. Then after that, you find a school you're interested in. What you need to do is to go through their portal. She has mentioned that, because you need almost all the information on the portal. You need information on the applications. Okay. You need information on what the program is about. You need information also on the individual courses you're going to do in that program and what those courses intend to achieve. You also need to know what that department has achieved over time, because if you're applying to usually government scholarships or institutional scholarships, or organizational scholarships, if anybody has applied for that, or Commonwealth scholarship, shared scholarship is currently open. So if you try to apply for it, you see that they have 11 essays for you to write. So in one of those essays, they will ask you, why have you chosen this program? Why have you chosen this course? And why have you chosen this university you chose? And why have you chosen the UK? So the answers to that are in the website of the program website. So you need to I've chosen this course because I have interest in so and so. And this, for instance, let me use my course. I've chosen this course because I have interest in, I don't know how to start this so that everything be connected. The first question they ask you in Commonwealth is about developmental impact. What developmental issue in your community have you noticed? And how do you want to make impact? And I've talked about that. So when I'm coming now down to why have I chosen this course, I'm going to say how this course will solve the developmental problem I talked about, and then which modules or courses will I take in that program that will equip me. So I'm going to start saying things like they call molecular laboratory techniques. We equip me with skills to carry out research in the area of virology and vaccine development, things like that. Then you now be like, the course on immunity will equip me with the knowledge of the complicated intricacies of B cells and T cells and how microbial invasion stimulate or induce immune responses, things like that. And all these things are on the program website. Then for a question like, why did you choose that? Still on why did you choose that program? On that website, they usually brag a bit about themselves, that they are the best in blah, 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 or they discovered so and so. One thing my program or my department or faculty has achieved is that this genetic fingerprinting that we do now, it was discovered in my school, in my professor. I talk about it. It shows that you really know what you're applying for and that you have done your homework. Why I chose the university, I also started talking about the university ranking. I didn't go to Google to look for it. I checked it on the website to look for the university's rankings, their latest rankings in teaching, in research. My university is ranked, I think, 25th or 26th in the UK. So it's not a very impressive thing. But they are ranked second in clinical research. So if I just checked on Google, I'll probably have not known that. So I would have probably been writing they rank 25th, and 25th is not impressive. But if I write I'm choosing this university because they are ranked second in clinical research. That means they have the faculty and the what's the big word they use now? They have the faculty and they have the research expertise to train me in so area. Okay, so you need to really take your time and go through the website because it will help you in writing a convincing essay. That also brings me, while I'm still on essays, if you're writing essays for organizations or government funded scholarships, I know the questions may seem different, but look at, if after writing it, put everything in one page and read from the beginning to end. If it doesn't flow, if your entire work doesn't flow, then there's a disconnect. If you who wrote the work is not compelled, like you get bored along the line, chances are that whoever is going to be assessing that essay will get bored. If you who wrote it did not really see, like you were not able to drive home your point, you cannot even convince yourself, chances are that it is not convincing or compelling enough to convince somebody else, like whoever is going to assess you, to invest in you, because this is an investment. They are going to be spending, in some cases, over £50,000, £100,000 on your head. So you need to prove to them that, yes, I can do this. I'm worth spending on. And the problem I've noticed with a lot of people is that you think, okay, my grades are enough to speak for me. Sometimes you are the one who should signpost people to your grades. Like, you should blow your trumpets. You should be polite, confident, braggy, but not too braggy. So you need to talk about like the things you have achieved. Like they need to see that you have achieved these things, or the things you have done, or how you're improving yourself. Okay, in such a way that they are convinced about you. Even if you do not have the best of grades, I know people who don't have very great grades and they still got scholarship because somehow they were able to convince these people that I didn't have great grades because of so and so, and then I have learned these lessons from it, and currently I am attending or I'm taking courses that will enable me to, things like that. They want to see that even if you experienced the challenge before, you have learned your lessons, you're working on improving yourself, you are doing what? You're constantly trying to improve yourself. You need to be as convincing as possible. And I'm being very generic because I don't know the kind of scholarship you're going to apply for. But in whatever essay you're writing, it should be compelling. Even if you're going to write a sub story, a compassionate story, the story should tie to your interest. Okay. So I talked about neglected tropical diseases. And in the part of my personal statement, I talked about some of the neglected tropical diseases that I had when I was growing up, and how poverty, everybody talks about poverty and all that, but it should tie to your interest and how you intend to. Don't just write, okay, I'm an orphan and I came from a poor background, but there's no linkage between that bigger picture in mind, and just pray about it. Apply like everything depends on your application. Pray like everything just depends on your prayer and God. That's just what I would say. And when you've done both of them, pack them one side and move on with your life, so that in case you collect L, take it as the will of God. Move on with life. You just have to be resilient. Okay. All right. Thank you for listening.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Wosu. That's a very powerful talk. Yeah, I remember what Dr. Stella used to say. She would tell me, Tomwa, you only need 1 yes. In all your application, you only need 1 yes. So, you know, I want to appreciate Dr. Chiamaka Wosu for this, powerful section. I'm really, I learned a lot of things, and yeah, I want to say thank you so much for honoring our call, because I know it's a busy time. Grad school is not beans. You have a lot of assignments to turn in, especially if you are learning coding, all this R and all. Oh God, it's crazy. I know, right? So I really want to thank you. It's a lot. During the sessions, all I was just thinking about my assignment, how to pull in all my assignments. I know. All right, so I I would open the floor for questions. If you have questions, just please raise up
Can
your
I
hand.
add some stuff?
Yes, yes, please, you can.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Chiamaka, for that wonderful session. Yeah, I also learned a lot. Thank you for opening our eyes to see. Then, I wanted to include that I forgot to mention you when you were talking about uh, Dr. Adeji, when you're talking about supervisor, or was she the one? Somebody, okay, about supervisor. Like I remember that when you talk to a supervisor, some supervisor will tell you to include their name on your application. So make sure that you actually talk to those supervisors, and when they tell you to include your name on your application, make sure you include it. Like include your name in their SOP. I had like two of them that told me that I should include their name on my SOP. So that will also help you. So in as much as you have a supervisor in mind, don't just have them in mind, just having them without doing anything. Reach out to them and talk to them. After talking to them, they will reply, oh, you can include my name in your application. If I have anything to influence, I will let you know. So stuff like that also happen as well. And just to also add to what Dr. Chiamaka said about blowing your trumpet in court, like when they say don't blow your grad school, you have to blow your for grad school application, you have to blow your trumpet, because they not like I don't want people to know what I have achieved. Not in grad school. I don't. I want to be living a coded life. Not you have to tell them the things you have done, and even the small things you think it doesn't really matter. When you package it very well, and you like the way you package it is packaging. Package all those little volunteering activities that you engaged in, all those small things that you did. There was one particular thing I did in my undergrad. After undergrad, I just left one of my lecturers to collect data. The way I packaged that data collection, you would think I actually know about the research.
Is there a network?
So I just asked the woman about it in my application. You think even when I submitted an application recently, I still included that thing in that application. Why? Because after this, I worked. It was something we collected data together. We went to primary schools to collect data. So I did something there. So don't feel like, oh, I don't know anything, or I don't have anything. All those small things that you think does not really matter. When you package them and put them properly, express yourself properly, they are really they are big deals. So then what's the okay? And the other thing is going for names. It's good to aim for high schools, or maybe for Ivy League schools, but those are really competitive. Like you don't want to waste your time. Maybe I don't let me put it that way. It's good to aim for Ivy League, for Harvard, all those things, but like what she said, where you can thrive is what actually matters. Because about grad school, your supervisor means a lot.
Yeah.
Because what is going to inform how fast you go will be dependent on the kind of person that the person supervising you. I've experienced that first, and like my first year, second year, I can tell you, and there are some supervisors that they won't even have your time because they are focused on their own goals already. Yes, you won't even have, they won't like, so that is very, very important. Rather than focusing on, okay, the school name or something, can you thrive? Are they approachable? Can you work in this environment? You don't want to, there are also toxic environments. I don't think why.
Hello, can you guys hear me? I think my network is off.
Yes,
We can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. So I said I made one of those mistakes because when I was making my applications, I wanted the first 5 schools in either US or Canada. So that was my focus. I just wanted the best. I wanted to work with the best and my focus was on the US because I knew US, anything academia is US. Then Canada can now come later. I only submitted one application to Canada, and I was fortunate to get it. And US, I share with Dr. Stella my best schools that there was no application fee with her. I had to take from my own little money, and you are paying $95 application fee. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But because I really wanted them, so I was willing to pay for them. So, all right. So, if you have any questions, please, you can you can raise your hand first. Then I would call on you. Thank you.
I think some people's hands are up, right?
All right. Do we have any hands? Am I seeing any here? Hello. All
Yes,
right.
like some.
Dr.
Yeah.
Elijah. Dr. Elijah, please go ahead. Dr. Elijah.
Okay, hi everybody. Thank you so much, Tomiwa, for organizing this. Dr. Chiamak, I'm so happy to see you. It's been a while. Dr. Iwale, thank you so much for everything. Okay, I have questions for the both of you. First to Dr. Chiamaka, congratulations once again. So the letter of recommendation, is it supposed to be tailored to the course you're going to study? Okay, and for Dr. Oyewole, my question is that I joined in halfway through your speech, and I wanted to ask if you had a master's degree or from medicine to PhD straight, and did you have published papers? Did that affect your application and all of that? So I just want to know that background. Thank you so much.
All right, Dr. Chiamaka, please, you can go first.
Hi, Dr. Elijah. How you doing? Okay, now I've forgotten what you asked me. Okay. Don't mind me, there's a lot on my head. Please, if you could remind me, what did you ask? Okay, no problem. I asked about the recommendation letter from... Oh, can you hear me now? Yeah, like does it have to be tailored to what you're going to study, or is just a general thing? Okay, I would say it depends. There are some schools that I mentioned I was interested in Mastercard, McGill University. McGill University they had a list of things they wanted to see in your recommendation letters. So also again, it depends. Some schools will tell you what they want to see, what your referee should talk about to you on. Some schools do not have any specifics. So I think the most important things is that the person should be able to speak to your academic prowess, your performance, and the person should be really specific. Not she was one of the best in my class. Person should say something like you were very outstanding in your performance, you were the third best in, or you were top 0.5% in your. They should put there's need for specificity in your distance so that it doesn't seem like this person doesn't really know you. The person is being a little bit generic. The person should also speak to your soft skills, like this student was really hardworking. She was really dedicated to whatever she did. She was really, like, when she comes to class, she's quite inquisitive. She asks questions. She does this and this and that. She collaborates well with others and things like that. So you should be able to speak to your academic prowess. You should be able to speak to your personality and your research skills. Okay, those are the three main things that they want to see in your reference letter. And then, sorry, I didn't remember my own question. I remember what you asked, Dr. Stella. Sorry, if I could just chip in a bit. For the publications, I didn't have any publications, and I feared that I was not going to get accepted for anything. And if anybody has applied for Commonwealth, you see that they put a list of, they'll tell you, list 10 publications that you have. I didn't have any publication. I thought I was not going to get it, but just like, since I've started, let me just finish. And then I got in. So if there are other parts of your application that are really strong and can show them that this person is worth investing in, they can overlook the publication part of it.
Yeah.
And as long as you just put a bit of research experience in your CV, I think that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Chiamaka. Very, very important point. One of the things I was going to raise later. You see people without publications getting fully funded scholarships. It's an holistic how do I put it now? Assessment of your whole application. So one part does not necessarily overpower the other. The fact that you were BGS does not mean you are going to get a scholarship. doesn't mean they have to assess all other applications. So then I wanted to mention that for the essays Dr. Chiamaka mentioned, statement of purpose, statement of interest, some schools have specifications what they want you to write in those essays. So please make sure you check the. Hello? Oh, I logged out.
Applicants for interviews. Of course, for me personally, I think one of the things the interviewers told me then was, we actually like your confidence. Like, she's like, both of them stood up like, how are you talking like this? Not like I had a lot. Everything I said, all the things I had was just undergrad final year research, and I just talked extensively about them. Under my laboratory experience, what I told them was what we did during undergrad preclinicals, my biochemistry, physiology, and other chemistry practicals. Those were the things I leveraged on. Although those are not, they are different from what I'm currently doing. It's something. Yeah, I think I've answered your question.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Oyewole. So, Emmanuel Mayowa, please, you can go ahead with your question. Emmanuel Mayowa, is it there?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the section so far. Really appreciate that. So my question is, because I tried listening to the program when Dr. Stella was talking. So I can see basically the two speaker that has spoken today, they dived into can I say the biology science form in in science form of courses. So my major question to ask is, what about those into businesses? Let's say those into finance, administration, accounting. Does the same process works for them?
All right, who wants to help us answer that before I put in one or two words? Dr. Stella, do you want to say something?
Yes, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So maybe the reason why we didn't talk so much about it was because we are actually science major, as you have rightly said. And for accounting and business and other social sciences, I'm not really sure about the funding, because for science has a lot of funding compared to other specialties. That is one thing I'm very sure of. But in terms of funding for other programs and the likes, I'm not totally sure. But the basic thing is doing research. You will be surprised. Like, I won't be surprised if you are able to get a fully funded for accounting or for any of those courses as well. And I'm sure they will be available. You just have to do more research on them, and it still follows the same pattern of identifying what you want, going after it, shooting them emails and asking questions. So you just have to do more research as well. But it's just that sciences have more funding opportunities compared to the other. I don't know why that's why it is like that. I don't know. That's what I asked.
Yeah,
if I may add.
Okay.
Can I go ahead, Dr.
Yes,
Aditya? Okay. So if I may add, for government-funded and organizational scholarships, sometimes they have a list of programs, and the programs cut across all fields of life. Okay, so you will also find, like for Commonwealth, there are tons. I feel like they're even more than this. They have 6 different teams. There's a team on climate change. There's a team on equity and something. But there are themes on other art business areas. In fact, the ones for health systems is just only one part, whereas others have more. And when I was looking out for MasterCard, I saw more opportunities for the arts than I saw for the sciences. Okay, that was why it was only Maggie that was able to apply. There were a lot for the arts, but not as much for the sciences. So you need to just really check. And Erasmus Mundi also has a lot of programs for people in political science and things like that. There's this other scholarship. I don't know if anybody has heard about it. DAAG scholarship in Germany. Is a lot of it is focused on the arts and even the arts and humanities. There's this other one in the Netherlands. I can't remember the name now. It's focused more on the arts and this. I think there's this other one, Stipendium Hungarium or something like that. It is focused more also on the arts and the rest of them. You can always also check the schools websites, different schools, and you never know. They may even have more funding than your science counterparts.
Yeah, thank you. They fully funded. I think we have, when not in the medical field, that's a clause. The medical field has a lot of funding. Research is going on, and in other fields it's possible. Dr. Chiamaka actually answered this. There are a lot of scholarship. You just need to search and see what works for you. I think that's been answered. At what point should you get your passport ready? They've also answered this. Even before you start applying, make sure you have your passport already. It takes you nothing. And you don't have to wait till you get your passport before you start applying. If you decide to start now, start the process of getting your passport too. So we already discussed that. So for government scholarship, what comes first? Receiving the scholarship or being admitted to school? Dr. Chiamaka, please, this question is directed to you. Then, please, you can take this other question too, that must your lecturer be your referee?
Okay, for the first one, it depends really. It depends on the criteria on the requirements of the scholarship. So for Commonwealth Shared or Commonwealth Master Scholarship, you need to, after applying on the portal, you also need to secure admission. Whereas for some Commonwealth Masters program, I've seen that you need to secure admission from the school first before you apply for the scholarship. So all these things really just depends. That's why I said you need to do your research. You need to check the requirements of the school or the scholarship and what they want before the other. Okay, they will tell you apply first, then apply for the scholarship first, then apply for admission. Some will want you to have gotten admission first and then you apply for the scholarship. Some will do both of them at the same time. Like the application I wanted to do for MasterCard in McGill, I was going to be doing them, would I say, simultaneously or so. They were like on the same, I don't know how to explain it, but like you're doing them almost at the same time. Okay, so it just depends on the requirement. And for the lecturer part, well, there are some schools that are not really strict with reference letters, but many schools are, and they want, sometimes they tell you, some schools they tell you your referee should be able to speak of your research experience or that know of your research experience. That they're telling you they want reference letters from people who you've worked it before. I mean, in terms of research, some schools will tell you they want people who can speak of your academic achievements. But ideally, because you are applying for a scholarship that's in an academic environment, you need somebody who can speak to your academic achievements or academic capabilities. Okay, so it's always best, it's always safest for at least one of your distance should be your lecturers.
All right, thank you so much. Then Amamilo Paula, please go ahead.
Okay, good evening everyone. Thank you for the presentation and all. I think I learned a lot from it. So my question goes like this. So for people like me now that we are currently doing our house job and our undergrad days were just basic. Like I didn't have a lot of information. What should I use this house job period to do? And then secondly, when Dr. Stella was talking about, I heard her say she did some courses during her house job day. So like, what are those courses, and then how would they help us to like land like scholarships and for grad school?
All right, Dr. Stella, please go ahead.
Sorry, can you come again with the first question? I think I missed that. I didn't get it.
Okay, for the first question, I said for people like me now that have started house job already, and then our undergrad days were just very basic, nothing there. So what should we use this our house job period to do, like when it comes to getting these scholarships?
Oh, okay. So It depends on your, I don't know, maybe your long-term goals. So which aspect, like what aspect of research or something have you identified that you want to go into? So I think that will actually guide you into the things to actually channel your energy into. But if maybe during this house job you can pick up an exco position in ARD or any medical group like that, and just have that as a leadership experience. If you have maybe any doctor consultant doing a research, collaborate with them. Can I help you get data? Can I help you write abstract? With the abstract, can I help you with the, like, just collaborate? Like, I know SRs, they do research, consultants, they have ongoing papers that they are writing. Just tell them that you are on cancer biology, precision medicine, which is actually like what I'm currently working on as well. So precision medicine, cancer biology. I think I did some in oral biology as well, oral cancers and the like. So I really can't remember all of them, but I think I did a number of them. So you can make my LinkedIn. I think I have them on my LinkedIn page. So those were the things I did. So it will definitely be based on what you want to do. So it doesn't mean because I did cancer, you also will do cancer. So just identify what you're interested in and then take. Yes, I can hear you.
Please go ahead. Go ahead. I think that's a mistake.
Okay. So then take courses in line with what you have identified, like the path you want to take, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Stella. You have some questions here. How tedious or busy is doing PhD? Would you say it's stressful, or you can still have a relatively normal life while studying? Question 2. Dr. Yewale.
Good question.
Is it possible to join dental school in the US? Why is it possible to join dental school in the US while also doing PhD?
Okay. Yeah, good question. So thank you for this question. How tedious or busy is doing PhD? I would not say tedious. I would not say busy. Maybe it depends on your definition of busy, but of course there is work to be done. Yeah. So, but there is a lot of work to be done, but then it is doable. That is it. It's going to take your time, definitely. So you can say you are busy. After this meeting, I need to head on to lab to actually check on some cells. So I'm just waiting for this. Immediately I drop this call, I'm heading to the lab to work. So it is demanding. Let me put it that way. I will not lie. It is actually demanding. When you say it is stressful, well, maybe because anything you like, it won't come out. You won't see it as stress. Of course, it will be demanding, but I won't say it's stressful in that sense. I won't call it stress because I chose this. I signed up for it, so I can't be complaining of stress this time around. I will always say, okay, this thing is demanding. Yeah. So once you have a relatively normal life, yes, I'm married. I have my family here. So and I'm still doing PhD. So it is you can still have your relatively normal life while doing, just like if you're a medical doctor, if you're a dentist, you know how it is in Nigeria. You're always on call. Even 6 years in school is not a joke. So I used to tell people that if I can survive OAU and I can survive all the stress in OAU, this will be like a child's play beside it, because of course Nigeria already groomed me or groomed us in a way that you have just very
resilient.
Like exact resilience, and you are very strong to handle anything that comes your way. Are they demanding? Are they challenging? Yes, but it is doable. So you can still have your relatively normal life while you're not like you have to study every day. You have to, and PhD is more like you are focused, more like you're focused on a particular aspect. So you're studying just a tiny thing of the whole thing, if that makes sense. So it's not like you're actually reading a lot about every other thing, like in medical school where you have to do biochemistry, this is something. But in research, in PhD, you identify a research topic and you are working on it to identify how you can treat them or how you can make profound solutions to that field. So that is just what it is all about. And if you can manage your time very well and adjust yourself, and you have a supportive partner with you, even if you are not married, you have maybe a supportive person, that you have supportive family that with you, it's actually very doable. So is it possible to join dental school in the US while also doing PhD? Well, the something is, for you to join dental school in US requires you to have maybe a permanent residency or maybe a citizen, because you can't go to dental school just with chickening money. Dental school is very expensive, so people go on loans to get into dental school here. So if that makes sense. So you have to be on you have to be a permanent resident or be a citizen for you to be able to access their loans, to get loans that will fund your dental school. So if that makes so what most people do is they do either do masters or PhD, and after PhD applying for permanent resident to becoming a citizen, and then from there go back to dental school. If you want to go back to dental, if it is your plan to go back to dental school after.
Oh,
I don't know if that answers your question.
yeah, great. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Oreolua Joshua Orifumishe, you can go ahead, sir. Is Dr. Ore here? I think the network went off. So let's have Miriam Cosmos.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So I said thank you for organizing this. Dr. Stella, thank you for your presentation. While you were presenting, you mentioned that you moved to the US with your husband. I just wanted to know if there is arrangement for dependents as a student in the US. I just want to clarify that.
Which type of arrangements do you mean?
Can they work? let me keep in that.
Is that the arrangement you mean? Okay, for US, your dependents cannot work in the US legally. And the reason is because they're not going to give them SSN. They're not going to have the social security number, which is going to be like what you will need to present at any place of work. But do people find their ways around it legally to still do that, which is not illegal? Yes. So it's not like your dependent will be sitting down not doing anything. Exactly. Oh. And then if you also have a dependent that has a knowledge of technology that doesn't have to even go to physics. So it is not like your partner cannot work like that. There are other options. You can change your status when you come into the US. Even if your husband or if your partner does not work, does not do anything related to tech or related to that something that can have them work remotely, you can change status when you get here. Apply to schools, get your status back to F1. You will get the social security number, which will enable you to be able to work. And if you get if your partner get a fully funded scholarship, that means he's going to be getting stipends, and that is also a plus for you as well. So that is another way people go through it.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Cosmos, please go ahead.
Okay, good day, everyone. I want to thank both speakers for speaking very well and sharing their wealth of knowledge with us. So my question is not directed at any particular speaker, but when Dr. Oyewole was speaking, she mentioned that your grades in school and then as well statement of purpose and recommendation letter are very important for applications. So I wanted to ask, it's good that both speakers are medical graduates. How important is distinctions when you are in school to your application? That's it. That's the first question. Then, like a follow-up to that would be, as far as I know, especially in our climes, medical grades tend to be generally lower than those people studying some other courses because of the whole distinction and whatnot. So my question would be, does WES have a way of maybe elevating GPAs for medics?
All right, so Dr. Chiamaka, please take the first question about your grades affecting your applications and what of you. Then Dr. Oyewole will take the second question about WS and GPA.
Okay, I will say because you are seeking an academic endeavor, you should try your best to have every academic advantage possible. Okay, if you're still in school, try your best to get but it doesn't mean that if you fell short of your own expectations that you won't still get. As I said, it's a very applications are holistic. They assess everything, but there are things that give you an advantage. There are things that will put you on the edge. And I know there are certain things, I will not say I did very well in school, but there were certain things I did or I got, or certain kind of results I got that I think to a large extent gave me an advantage and is still giving me an advantage. So if you get a distinction and your distinction is relevant to what you want to study, it's a big plus. It's a very, very big plus to you, because you can always blow your trumpet around it, right? Talk about how it ties to your interest, and how that this, even when you put it in your statement of purpose or in a code mail, that you say that you are highlighting this award of a distinction to underscore your academic competency in the subject area or something like that. The person will be like, yes, this person knows what I'm talking about, that kind of thing. But it doesn't mean that if you didn't get a distinction that you will not. I know people who used to get scholarship. So it's a holistic thing, but because you're competing with others, you want give yourself every advantage possible. That's what I can say. But then if you know that you are, maybe your academic this thing was not so great, try to make sure that other parts of your this thing is really good. Maybe you have very good research experience, that you have lots of voluntary experience, like you did a lot of voluntary activities in school, you have leadership experience. There are scholarships that focus on people who have leadership experience and they have shown that they can contribute or make impact to their community. So there are also scholarships that focus on things like that. Okay, so you should make sure that even if you're academically, you may not be able to be, you're not very competitive, you should brush up those other areas to make yourself very competitive, and you'll be surprised that you get scholarships ahead of people who probably got all distinctions. Okay, so there's no need to give up hopes or anything.
Yeah, thank you.
Blow your trumpet in any way you can, everywhere you can.
Yeah, thank you so much. Also, you, Wally, over to you, ma.
Sorry, please, the question.
Does West have a way of upgrading people's GPA?
Okay, yes, West upgrades. They see, well, I don't know. West does not recognize you are dentist, you are medicine, you are accountant, you are something. They have West is just trying to equalize results, base your result on US standard. So they want to convert it to the US standard. The US uses 4.0 grade, and Nigeria, we are 5.0. So they try to make it over 4.0. So whatever it is your grade is, it's, I don't know. If you have distinction in your undergrad, definitely you will see something on West. But if you have less than distinction, you also see it. So it's, I don't know how to put it. I don't know if I'm answering your question. It's still universal. It doesn't differ for medical students and non-medics. It's just the same. They are just trying to equalize everything to US standard. Yes.